This is a video for anyone who's having a hard time right now, especially if you're going through grief. You might have lost a loved one, you might have lost a close friend, you're going through separation, or you're just dealing with a heartbreak. All of these emotions can be very painful to deal with. The person you had in your life, the routine you had with them, and the things that you went through together all suddenly has just been swept under your feet, and you feel lost without them. You don't know what to do when your whole body is filled with pain. It feels impossible to move on. But you try and continue with your normal routine. You wake up, you go to work, and you deal with all of these emotions. But inside, deep down, you're wondering if you ever are going to return back to normal, whether you're going to feel okay again. I know it's a very difficult time that you're going through right now, and I just wanted to let you know it's okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel all of the emotions that you do. Just allow yourself to feel the feels, feel the emotions that you're having inside. Life just likes to throw curveballs at us sometimes, but in this video I'm going to share lots of different ways to help you move forward with life. I'm going to share lots of tips and techniques to help you build that strength to be more resilient. These aren't quick fixes, and they definitely won't make your pain disappear, but it will help you find the strength to be able to process your feelings and your emotions, and to be able to think about taking care of yourself and start the process of moving forward and healing. When we feel grief, we feel lots of different emotions. We might feel like we're in denial, we might feel angry, we might feel depressed, but the biggest emotion that we face is pain. Pain is like a massive, big, black hole inside of us. When we feel hurt, we feel upset, all of the emotions gathering together, feeling like it's about to explode at any moment. Pain is the sort of hurt where you cry and cry for hours and you feel like ripping your eyeballs out. Pain is that type of emotion where nobody likes to feel, but when it comes around, it just eats us up inside. Pain like this is part of life. Without pain, we haven't discovered how to love. And the pain that you're going through can be healed, but it won't happen overnight. You won't wake up one morning and then everything's going to be okay. It just takes time. It's about allowing yourself to go through the emotions, to really learn the process of how to navigate it little by little so you can move forward. And this is you being resilient. Resilience isn't about pretending everything's okay and moving on with your life. It's really thinking about how to process all of these emotions and finding the strength to move forward even though it's hard. Life isn't always easy, and it's not going to be filled with flowers and butterflies, but when something like grief really hits us, it can hit us really hard like a ton of bricks. Sometimes we think that if we do things right, things will keep moving upwards and we're on an uphill trajectory to being able to reach a level of happiness and fulfillment and purpose in our life. So when things come crashing down, we always ask ourselves, why us? Why me? Why did this have to happen? And it's completely normal to feel this way because pain is part of being human. When we're dealing with loss, we are dealing with love. Love and loss are very closely connected together. When we open up our hearts to someone, we also open up the possibility of losing them. The more we love someone, the more we care. And this is why it hurts so much. But the pain that you're experiencing is the proof of how much that person meant to us. And thinking about this person is a real difficult time at the moment because they're gone. Everything that connects you with them, the experiences and the memories, this is where you start to accept what has happened. And this is where the resilience comes in. This doesn't mean that you have to be okay with it, and it doesn't mean that you have to get over these feelings straight away. It's allowing yourself to take the time to process all of these emotions, however you're feeling, whether you're feeling anger, confused, sadness, or even if you're feeling numb. Just allow yourself to feel how you're feeling and stop resisting them. When you acknowledge it, you sit with it and you allow yourself to grieve. This is the first step towards healing. The next thing to do is take all of the time that you need. And I know this may sound really unrealistic when you have work and other things you need to do in your life, but really take this time and allow yourself to be patient. When you're dealing with these types of emotions, your whole process isn't going to be linear. There will be days where you feel better than others, but there is no set deadline for when you are going to get better. All of these emotions come in waves. Some days you might feel really good, and other days when other people ask you how you are, you might feel really overwhelmed and start crying, but that's okay, it's part of the process. When you're dealing with the emotions of pain, loss, or grief, it's not something that you just move on from. It's something that we all have to learn to live with. And when we come across these emotions, it's really thinking about how we are dealing with it on an everyday basis. Every day we try and make small choices to allow ourselves to become stronger, to allow ourselves to progress through these emotions, to navigate ourselves through what we are dealing with. And it's easy to feel frustrated with how we are feeling if we haven't moved forward fast enough with our life. We feel like we've taken enough time and we still feel a certain way. And it's hard knowing how much time we've put in to allow ourselves to feel the feelings, but it still hasn't gone away. But it's not about counting down the days until you feel normal again. It's about giving yourself the resilience so you can make each day a little bit more easier and a little bit more comfortable to live. Sometimes when we continuously think about the thought that we don't want to think about over and over again, it's not going to help us. When we have a thought that we don't want and it's stuck in our head and we go through it again and again, all of the raw emotions are going to be present. And sometimes to ignore these emotions, we try to distract ourselves with work, by watching TV, and we get into this habit of suppressing our emotions, trying not to feel them, and that's not a good way to deal with it either. Bottling up all your emotions only makes it worse. You feel the weight in your body, you feel the tension, the stress grows bigger and bigger, and this is not how you want to feel. You want to be able to let those emotions out. And there are many ways to express these emotions. You don't have to be sitting down and talking to a therapist if that doesn't work for you. You can be creative by drawing or painting your thoughts. You can really sit down and write all your thoughts out. You could do many different things to be able to release those emotions inside of you. If you're feeling anger, you might want to go into a rage room and throw things and hit things, or you might just want to go out into the countryside and scream at the top of your lungs. If you're feeling sad, you might want to listen to music or watch a film that makes you cry. If you're feeling numb, think about all the physical activities that you can do, like dancing, running, anything to get your heart rate going. Facing your emotions may feel really uncomfortable, but it's better to allow yourself to express these emotions than to suppress them. By allowing yourself to go through these emotions, is part of the process to healing. And when you're healing, it's the strength that it's going to give you to get better. When you feel emotions like pain, loss, or grief, you really feel sometimes that there is no silver lining, that nothing good can come from this. But having resilience, which I know you have inside, gives you that hope, and it gives you that connection and the growth you need to be able to really think about the light even in the darkest moments. Maybe this experience has shown you how strong you are. Maybe the pain that you're feeling has given you more power to connect with those people that you're surrounded with. And maybe everything that you're feeling right now is a fraction of the time in your lifetime that you will overcome. Even on the hardest days, you might find yourself smiling. Even on the hardest days, you might think of something positive. Even on the hardest days, you might not think you're going to get through it, and you got through the day with a little bit of friendly advice. You don't have to be grateful for the pain, but it's about finding the meaning within that to move forward. Having people who have gone through this experience that you can talk to will definitely make it a little bit more easier. Resilience isn't about going it alone and being tough all the time, but knowing when to lean on other people. Surround yourself with people who can uplift you. Find people who have experienced the same things you've experienced. Find people to talk to about your experiences. The more you think about surrounding yourself with people, expressing your emotions to them, the easier and more comfortable it will feel. Get yourself out and about. Go for a coffee, take a walk, think about doing a new hobby, or find an accountability partner who can get you back on track. By surrounding yourself with good people, you are developing your strengths to overcome this situation. Once you've given yourself some time to express your emotions, the next thing to do is really to get back on track, to really develop a new routine. When you had that person in your life, you had a routine together, you did things together, and now that person is gone, we want to be able to create a new routine for yourself. Having a new routine gives you a sense of stability. When things get a little bit overwhelming, your routine is what keeps you grounded. This doesn't mean that everything has to be perfect, but making sure you take those little steps to develop new small habits will really go a long way. And of course, this means setting aside time to focus on your health and well-being, getting enough sleep, making sure that you're eating properly, getting enough exercise. All of these things really contribute to how you are living your life. Allow yourself to take a few moments to breathe, to be able to drink enough water throughout the day. And when we're resilient, this is the thing that we have to do to keep ourselves disciplined, ensuring that we are maintaining our well-being so that we can move forward even when we have no motivation. Once we have our routine, we are focusing on ourselves. And when we focus on ourselves, this is something that we can control. When we're dealing with grief, this is something that we can't control. We can't control what has happened in the past. We can't control the person that we've lost. What we can do is to feel empowered on what we can control, what we can do. You can control how you're going to express these feelings. You can control how well you take care of yourself. You can control the actions that you're going to take. Even when life feels out of control, there is always something within your control. You can decide how you want to live your life. You can decide what you want your life to look like in the future. You can decide the goals that you're going to set now to be able to live the life you want. Everything happens for a reason, and when you're going through pain or you're going through grief, it feels endless and you're wondering if life will ever feel normal again. Let me tell you now, it will. At this moment in time, you might not see how, you might not believe it. But everything in life changes, including this pain. You won't feel like this forever. The grief will soften, the heartbreak will heal, and the weight will lift off your chest. It's easy to compare your life with others, especially when you think like everyone else is doing better, they're moving faster, they're achieving more. But just remember that your journey is unique. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. Just because you're dealing with grief at the moment, it doesn't mean that other people don't have their own struggles. Things may not be happening as quickly as you might like, but that doesn't mean you're not getting better. Life will always have its challenges, and you will develop ways to be able to cope with these emotions. Just take one day at a time and think about ways to move one foot in front of another. I'm giving you all of the strength that you need to be able to overcome this challenging time, and I'm giving you all of the resilience you need to be able to pull yourself through to the other side. If you liked this video and you found it helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. I wish you all the best. Take care.